Hey, my name is Tanya, and I have been living undiagnosed for more than 12 years, but this week something has changed. If this is your first time joining me and you're interested in checking out my entire story, I have left the link for the very first video in this series in the description below. Just a brief overview. Over the last 12 years, I have been experiencing these really bizarre seizure-like episodes where I lose my speech or slur my speech. I get numbness from head down, my muscles tighten, I have tremors and muscle weakness. I have fatigue every day of my life, and I'm not able to do much of anything. So far, I have been diagnosed with a couple of things. The biggest thing is the Chiari malformation. Now, this is where your brain is herniated and protrudes outside of your skull a little bit into your spinal column area. This can, for some people, cause extreme headaches and a world of other crazy, bizarre symptoms. Thankfully for me, they're calling it a mild herniation, and that they said my seizure-like episodes are not related. Outside of that, I was also diagnosed with celiac disease, which can actually cause neurological damage if left untreated for a long period of time. So I have been gluten-free for, I want to say, about 8-9 months, and I've lost about 15 pounds in the journey of cutting out gluten, which I have absolutely no complaints about. Now, along this journey, I have done a lot of testing for like sugar-related stuff. I've been checked for diabetes, I've been checked for reactive hypoglycemia, and a number of other things. But everything has come back normal. All my blood tests always come back normal. My MRIs come back normal aside from that Chiari malformation. And I've been to cardiologists and sleep specialists. Anyways, check out the story. It's a long one. Start with video 1. So anyways, after cutting out gluten, I began to notice some reactions to different foods. And at first we thought it was like an allergic reaction, but it was too difficult to pinpoint certain things. So we had gone to, low carb, organic, non-genetically modified foods. However, sometimes it's so frustrating because I have no energy and I feel so weak. I started to look back at my blood pressure. So at a spur of a moment, decision, I have a blood pressure machine at home and I started a log. Now I have done this log before, but not around what I was eating. So I had done random sporadic blood pressure tests throughout the days for like about a week, and everything appeared to be normal or within normal range. However, this time I decided to do it around food. So I started with, this is my blood pressure when I wake up. This is my blood pressure 20 minutes after eating. This is my blood pressure an hour after eating. And guess what I found out? My blood pressure drops drastically after I eat a high carb or heavy meal. If I have salad, it stays pretty close to the same. So I took said log and I took it to my doctor and I laid it in front of him and said, hey, I have a blood pressure problem because of the crash. So for example, the other day I had 122/73 blood pressure reading, and then I ate, I think I had some hot dogs, gluten-free hot dogs without a bun, obviously, and then I had a handful of chips, and I dropped from the 120/74 or 73 down to like 105/63. And of course, during this time, I had an episode, the seizure-like episode. Then the next day, I had a shower in the morning, and I felt absolutely horrible after my shower. So I checked my blood pressure, 107/68. So I'm like, okay, I'm noticing a trend. My episodes, I've checked my blood pressure before, but most commonly, when I'm in the hospital or I'm with a specialist and I'm having an episode there, they check my blood pressure on my right arm. Now, I have tremors, which are most commonly in my right arm, which can skew the blood pressure readings. So I intentionally chose my left arm because I know I have less tremors. And guess what? I can now say that I have low blood pressure drops during my episodes. Anyways, I bring this list to my doctor. It's 3 pages long. And I said, look, isn't this called postprandial hypotension? And he sits there and he looks at it and you can see him reading it and he's flipping the pages and he's like, yep, postprandial hypotension. So then he says, okay, there is a pill. It's not intended for this type of hypotension, but what it does is helps regulate your blood pressure or try to keep it up a little bit. Now, we haven't tried this before, but it is possible if you take a pill 30 minutes to an hour before eating, it might reduce the blood pressure crash or drop. I keep calling it a crash, but it's a drop. So then he says, well, this pill is generally used for postural hypotension or orthostatic hypotension, which is when your blood pressure crashes or drops. I keep saying crash. When your blood pressure drops when you stand up. So we did another test. He sits me in the chair, he checks my blood pressure. Hey, Kate, you're at 113/79. Now stand up. And he took my blood pressure and guess what? It dropped to 107/68. And I was going a little bit numb. And he says, well, guess what? You also have orthostatic hypotension. So then I'm sitting there and I'm like, holy crap, I could have figured this out years ago. Like a long time ago, this could have been figured out. So then he says, you definitely qualify for taking this pill on a daily basis. So I said, hey, is this the cause of these episodes? And he says, well, it's possible. If you're lining them up with the blood pressure drop and the episode, it is possible that this hypotension is causing your episodes. But there is a chance it could be completely unrelated. So now, as of today, I have this scary pill. It is scary, and I'll tell you why. And I'm going to do a test, and I'm going to start taking it on a daily basis and see if my episodes go away and see how I feel. This is probably the closest I've ever come to getting that final answer that I've been looking for. Worst case, this helps me, but doesn't completely stop the episodes, but it will give me energy. So this pill, it's a little scary to me. It's a steroid pill. You take it once a day when you have food in your stomach. And it basically, as per the pharmacist, puts your body into a fight or flight scenario. It gives you like an adrenaline rush and makes you very energetic and keeps your blood pressure up. So I'm a little bit nervous. Now, the other side of it is it does suppress your immune system. And I don't think that's a good idea during the pandemic. But I've been living like this with these seizure-like episodes for at least 12 years. And I can't handle it anymore and I need to take something. Now, when I look back at my life and I look at how I was as a teenager and the inability to be extremely active. I look at the fact that I haven't been able to do a lot of cleaning or physical work and people think I'm lazy and I avoid things and they look at my house and they're like, they judge me basically. Oh my gosh, Tanya, your house is such a mess. Well, you know what? I can't physically clean it, but they don't understand. They don't understand what it's like to not be able to do it. Now, with this pill, I am truly hoping it changes everything. In the words of Kelly Clarkson, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I'm truly hoping that this pill makes me stronger and helps me to carry on and keep going and hopefully live a more normalized life. I just hope and pray that I don't catch anything with a suppressed immune system. So day 1 on the pill, we're going to see how this goes. I'm going to come back in about a month and let you know, or sooner, if I have this miraculous recovery from these pills for hypotension and I'm episode free within the next 2 weeks, I'm going to come back and let you know. But for now, I'm going to plan it a month because I'm afraid to get my hopes up, but I have this feeling in my gut like this is the answer I've been looking for. So crossing fingers, and I'll keep you in the loop. Talk to you soon.